Hi everyone. So this is the continuation of my contest prep um, videos to tell you what I'm doing and how it's all going. My very first contest prep, obviously Carnivore, has been in Carnivore for 7 years, 8 years almost now. So we are now 2 weeks out, exactly today. So in 2 weeks, I'm going to be on a stage, which is really scary. Right, so a lot has happened this week, and major changes on the diet, major changes on the activity. So I'm going to go right into that. So first of all, last week I finished where I said I was doing 75 grams of fat and 200 grams of protein. The My body just reacts way too slow, and I needed to get a much drastic approach because with 2 weeks out, just dropping 0.5% of fat a week, it just was not gonna work. And while I know that the contest prep, the cutting in particular, we started way too late. Totally underestimated how long it will take with my body. So I know I will not gonna be able to bring the best, my best condition possible. But I nonetheless want to be able to bring the best I can in the current circumstances. So trying to get the most I can in the last 2 weeks, which meant a drastic change to get the body dropping as quickly as possible. So first of all, from the diet side, fat has been halved. So from 75 grams of fat is down to 35 grams. The proteins are down from 200 to 185. So what it means in terms of food, so I'm still having 5% beef, but I'm only having 500 grams of 5% beef a day. Eggs, no longer having 4 whole eggs, I'm having 1 whole egg and 3 just yolks. And instead of having the mackerel, I'm having tuna now. So really lean kind of foods as much as possible. Also completely changed the workout plans and the activity. So my new coach has put me on double the amount of cardio, so on the Stairmaster again at fat burning zone, but instead of just doing the 15 minutes, it's now 30 minutes after every session. Still 4 sessions a week, but a much more targeted way. Instead of doing upper lower, we are doing still 4 sessions, but 1 upper session, and then 3 lower sessions. But in each lower session, we're still doing exercise for the shoulders, and particularly we're hitting the glutes, because obviously with bikini, shoulders and glutes are the most important features, and unfortunately the 2 areas that my body doesn't like to put muscle on. So we are really hitting them regularly. So it's still 4 sessions a week, 30 minutes of cardio at the end of it on the Stairmaster. And steps have been increased as well to an average of 12,000 a day. Which is quite high. Especially when you haven't got a huge amount of time. So with my work commitments, it's not that I don't want to do the step, I physically don't have the time. So I find myself sometimes having to go out when it's dark, I guess like very early, to try to to get some extra steps in there, and doing what I can. But massive drastic change, and I know my new coach said, okay, we're gonna have to suffer for a week and a half or so, just try to get to the stage in the best possible option, knowing that everything started too late. So grinding. Grinning and bearing it for this period of time. So started this on Wednesday. So I've been doing these reduced macros since Wednesday. And I gotta say, actually, I'm a bit surprised. I thought it would be ravenous. and I'm not. So it's the hunger is not too bad, and I think the fact that I've got protein and fat, so there's no carbs involved in there because it's carnivore. I think that's what's helping regulating the hunger. The other thing that I found helps as well is to just stick to 2 meals. So I have breakfast and I have a late lunch, and don't have anything afterwards, because if it's in a restricted window of time, actually it helps you control your hunger rather than eating multiple times a day. Before I used to have my mackerel after training in the evening, and then I used to go to bed about an hour later. But if you don't do that, your body gets used to it in a compressed window of time. You got more time that you spend fasting, the fasted state, which helps with fat burning, and also not getting you as hungry as you potentially might be. So the hunger is not too bad. The things I notice, of course, the energy levels, of course, are dropping, because obviously we're now on such a restricted amount of fat that is bound to affect the energy levels. And then the main thing really is the cognitive side. I'm mentally tired. I find I'm forgetting things more often. It's distracted, difficult to focus. So that's the things that I noticed the most, really, more than anything else. But I know it is just a week and a half, yeah, because then on peak weeks I'll be able to get some fat refeeds on that week, just to fill up the muscles. So I'm not gonna put up with that, because the end of the day is, I know if I don't, I'll end up in stage with a lot of wobbly bits, and I'm going to be so uncomfortable, because as I said, to me, this is as much a mental challenge as it is a physical challenge. The physical challenge I can take, the mental challenge is the hardest one. And if I go on stage and I'm feeling like I'm fat still, I'm really not conditioned enough, then it's going to be really difficult for me. I'm not going to be anywhere near where I would have liked to be. And for my first contest, but I'm going to take this as a learning curve. I'm writing a lot of data from this, so I know the next time round can start this a lot sooner. I know what I need to do for my body to respond, and give myself a lot more time. So I do not advise this to anyone, honestly. 35 grams of fat a day is really, really low. And it's not healthy, especially when you got autoimmune disorders, the thyroid is collapsing, the hormones, the sex hormones as well, are down with age and everything. But it's one thing that is, this is how I worked out this time, learn the lesson for next time around. That's what I can say. Now, in respect of results, so this massive cut in macros has actually already made a difference. So in just those 3 days, I dropped 0.6 kilos and 3% body fat. So my body fat is just skydived, which is fine, great, happy. I've actually lost 1 centimeter of my saddle bags, so around the hips, where you store your fats, around your top of the legs, hips area, which is great, so it's clearly working. And as I said, it's going to have to be, it's just for a short period of time, and then be able to do a bit of fat feed. And then once the competition's been done, then I'll do a bit of reverse dieting, get my body back to a healthy place before I decide, when the next competition will be. And I think I probably will need to give myself at least a year off, to rebuild everything before start competitions again. And then by next time I will know, I'll give myself 9 months, just to do it gently, so we don't find ourselves in, the last 3 weeks having to cram it all, cram 3 months worth of dieting into 3 weeks, which is a bit ridiculous. So that's the results that come in there. New workout, more activity, half the fat that I had before. Hunger not bad, energy levels okay. Sleep actually is quite good. It's very interesting, because whenever I listen to podcasts, people who don't competition, they say, "Oh, can't sleep anymore because all I can think is about food. I'm so hungry." And I've got to say, the one thing, fingers crossed, stays like this way, that I've got that goes in my favor. I've always had a very good sleep, And in fact, now because I'm so knackered, 8 o'clock, I'm so knackered and barely keep my eyes open. I go to bed, and I'm out, and I'm out all night. So it's really, really good. So my sleep is holding out, which is great. Supplements are still the same. I was told to double my creatine, double the acetyl-L-carnitine, which I did, and I did that with a massive gastric upset, runs and everything. So I'm not quite sure whether it is the Alcar or whether it is the creatine. So I just cut them back again because it got me bloated. It got me, really bad runs. Very uncomfortable, and those are the only two things I change, supplement wise. And apart from using the tuna, unless I'm having a reaction to the tuna, but I don't think so. Because normally when a reaction to food is not so much bloating, it's more I tend to get hives. And I've had tuna before, it never bothered me. So I think it's possibly creatine, because that tend to bloat you, give you a bit of gas, because the coach told me to increase it from 5 grams a day to 10 grams a day, and the carnitine to increase it from 2 grams a day to 4 grams a day. And I think it was just too much for my body to, all of that together. So need to do it slowly. So I think creatine today, I went back to just the 5 grams, and Alka went down to 3. Just see how that goes. I had an event on Friday evening when I did my gym session very late, and I came home and I was feeling my calves felt very tight, and I thought that's very odd. I'd done 30 minutes on Stairmaster, and I thought that's very odd because it wouldn't hurt me, they felt tight. So as soon as I took my shoes off, I realized my ankles were balloons. They looked like they were broken. I mean, they were so swollen, particularly the left one. I went, what the hell is this? I mean, there's major water retention. So I just sent a message to my coach, and he said, yeah, edema, water retention, told me what to do. And following morning, they were back to normal, so, and they've been fine ever since. So obviously I think that was the first, was it the first day? Yes, actually, it was the first day I did 30 minutes in Stairmaster after the training session. It was the very first time I doubled my cardio on the Stairmaster, and it was quite late in the evening as well. And I think my body just didn't like it. Was whoa, so because I know if I sit a long period of time, I do get a little bit of ankles, swelling, mild thing. And I also know that as the day goes on, my legs look bigger because they do store a bit of water. So I think that just killed. So my body was going, oh, you were doing 50 minutes before, they're doing 30 minutes. What the hell is going on here? And that was after a leg session as well. So, so it was a little bit, maybe a bit too much in one go. But, swelling's gone down. There is no pain, which is the most important thing. So now the main thing is to make sure this doesn't happen on competition day. But we know what did this time, so we know how to avoid that. And I also believe that on the peak week there will be less leg workouts anyway, because you don't want the legs to be swollen, inflamed on the day of competition. So so very short video today. Just update on the thing, on the changes, and very drastic changes. I said, do not advise to do it this way. Give yourself plenty of time. We started way too late, the cut, way too late in the competition, in the prep. In addition to that, my body responded a lot slower than I thought it would be responding. So really, well, initially we were looking at starting doing a 20 weeks prep. Realistically speaking, now I know it's going to be a lot more than 20-day prep, but we didn't even start cutting 20 days. So we started prepping a 20-day, but then the cutting didn't start till later on. So really proper cutting. So it's a good way to learn things. I would have liked to be in a better position on my first contest, but you learn as you go along, and try to get a feel for the experience on the day, and then next time around, be able to bring a much better much better package, but it's still got, 2 weeks to go, and, continue with this. I'm still going to be able to drop a bit more fat. And then, with a bit of tan and everything, I might not look quite so bad on stage. As I said, it's the experience. So try to have as much fun as I can, get the experience. And I'm taking, as I record absolutely everything, I'm writing all this data down. So next time around, I know exactly what to expect and what works and what doesn't work. And it's going to be a much smoother sail with a lot more time to allow for that. Okay, so that's it. But on the plus side, the hunger is super manageable, which is a very good bonus, because I actually thought, listening to everybody else's podcast and, competitors saying, "Oh, I'm so hungry, you want to eat the fridge," and I think, oh my God, no, it's not actually. So I think carnivore is the right way to do it. If you're going to do contest prep, do carnivore, and because the high proteins will help you with the hunger. I'm not saying you don't get hungry, so don't get me wrong, because I do wake up hungry, ready to have a meal. But then as I go through the day, so I have a breakfast, and then I have my second meal, lunchtime at about 1:32. After that, that's it. So that keeps me going through to the following day. And I go to bed and I feel peckish, I would say. Probably the word is not hungry. It's peckish, So you got a little bit thing there that you're thinking, a few more hours probably could be ready for another meal, but you're going to be fast asleep. So, in a few hours, you're fast asleep, so you don't need any meal. And it's also a good thing to get the body to bed in a fat burning mode already, having done some activity beforehand, workout or walk, depending what my schedule is like, and not having eaten after that, then, the body is, is going to bed in a burning mode, as opposed to going to bed with a full stomach, and then it's got all this stuff to digest, so it's going to, mess up your sleep, and it's not going to be burning anything because you've got all this food in there, yeah. So it's all little tricks that help both with the hunger and with the fat burning side of things. So 2 weeks out, getting so close. So next week when I do this, it'll be 1 week out, and then I'll probably do one the day before the contest. Like the contest is on a Sunday, so next Sunday will be 1 week out. So I'll do the one, maybe the next one on a Saturday, maybe from the hotel, and just to say, what's been going on, what the plan is. And then once this is all over with, I will post some pictures from the competition to show you what the end result was. Please be aware, I'm not going to be looking perfect, far from it, so be gentle, please, be kind when you see the pictures. It's my first time, as I say, a lot of things didn't go quite as planned, so we just damage control, if you like, at the moment, trying to bring the best we can with what we got left, really. That's all it is. Okay, so I will make the next update next week, where we're 1 week out. Thank you. Bye.